How about that leading song by the Jackson 5, ABCs? So fitting for what we're going to be talking about right now. And luckily and fortunately for me, I have Dr. Samantha McGuane with me today, our curriculum coordinator here at Baypath. We're both freshmen here, Dr. McGuane. How are you today? How has it been coming to Baypath? Talk to us a little bit. Let the Baypath community know a little bit about you.
Sure, it's been awesome. I'm having a great time working with the teachers and meeting the students. Although I'm a freshman here, I'm not new to vocational education. Nor are you. I know you graduated from Baypath. I graduated from Monty Tech and I worked as a teacher in the vocational setting for 15 years. So it feels like home, even though it is new to me.
Yeah, and that's great. And one of the things that I noticed right about you, Sam, when I met you, was the fact that you had this desire to jump in and make things better around you. Your pedigree, your doctoral that you did in regards to your educational learning. Baypath's lucky to have somebody of your caliber coming in now, and both of us are hitting the ground running here at Baypath, doing a lot of listening, trying to figure out exactly where we're at. Because you know what, when we start talking about curriculum and growth, it's never easy, especially when you're coming in a place that's pretty established with what's going on. And talk to me about, your first month, a little over a month here at school starting, and kind of what the feel and the vibe that you get, not only from the teachers, but from the students and the whole community up here.
Yeah, sure. This is a proud community, and I've been very fortunate to meet a lot of the teachers. I've met them all, but to get to know a lot of vocational and academic instructors, as well as the support staff. Everybody here, the culture is like a family, and that's exactly what I was looking for in a school if I was going to move from my previous position. In the last month to 6 weeks, um, I've been in several classrooms, related classrooms, academic classrooms, some shops, and I would say that we have a lot of talented staff. I definitely see that for sure. And we have a lot of students that are mostly eager to learn and very, very smart and creative.
Sam, let's talk a little bit about curriculum. For the average person out there, what does curriculum mean? A lot of people think, yeah, we're going to buy a textbook and just follow through. And you know what? Maybe that's the easy version of what they think a curriculum is. But a curriculum is a living, breathing document that ties into frameworks and scope and sequence. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me that I'm missing something here from your lens.
You're never wrong, Mr.
I
Patrick.
don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Um, Yeah, curriculum, it's actually pretty complex because it's everything from the standards that the state, provides us, but how do we make that work in our particular setting? And we need to develop, particularly in this situation where we have the week about schedule, we need to develop a scope and sequence that allows us to meet all of the standards, if not exceed them, and flesh out what kind of daily activities do we want to see? What kind of learning do we want to see? What types of assessments are we going to use? We're always trying to be innovative, and we're going to continue on that path. And it's very cyclical. We have to also look at data and make revisions to what we're doing every single year. Our students change. So it's ongoing every year. And it's always exciting, at least.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you say it's ongoing and it's always evolving, which is something that really excites me. So once you establish and you get your curriculum set, and Desi would say that there are always curriculum review cycles that we have to do to ensure that our curriculum is not biased, make sure it's relevant, make sure it's on topic in regards, and make sure it's timely. But at the end of the day, we start looking at those curriculum cycles that we have, and then we start talking about teaching methodologies and how do we reach every single student in our building, because we all know that every student comes in with different types of learning needs. Can you talk a little bit about how we plan to address to meet every child where they're at?
Yeah, we've been working on a plan for professional development, and we're looking at universal design for learning. We're looking at bringing in top consultants, as well as drawing from the talent of the staff we have here at Baypath. A combination of that will get us to a place where we're looking at equity and access and ways to really maximize our time in the classroom, because we know it is limited. So we want to make sure that all students have access points, that they can find a way to get into the curriculum, which means that we have to have choice and students have to have voice, and we have to be relevant and come up with creative ways to allow students to show us that they understand what they're learning.
You know, the magic of a classroom happens when the door closes and the master teacher has student engagement that's off the charts. Now, very quickly for our audience out there, what's the difference between a teacher-led classroom and a student-centered classroom? And this excites me. This is where the coach in me says, how do we maximize learning for every student in our building?
Well, if it was a teacher-centered classroom, when I walk in to observe,
all about who?
I would, or even if I was a passerby, I would be seeing, you know, the teacher talking the whole time, maybe lecturing the whole time. And though there's a time and place for everything, a student-centered learning environment would be, I would walk in and I would see students talking, students doing, students actively engaged and working with other people. Collaboration is huge. Whether that be hands-on or they're presenting or they're working, they're struggling productively with the instructor as a facilitator of the learning.
Yeah, and I'll tell you right there, that's a paradigm shift in education, especially if you're used to a certain way of teaching. And a lot of educators, become comfortable in a certain way. But what they don't understand sometimes is when you relinquish the control of what you think you have to control and let students take control of their own learning, you become a facilitator of the actual learning. And what that means, you can drive it in different directions. And then students create ownership for their own learning. That to me is when that happens, that is just an unbelievable time in learning, because all of a sudden students begin to really become high level engaged in what they're doing. They start thinking and they asking higher level Bloom's questions. What we need to do is shift from that lower level Bloom's taxonomy, that remembering phase, to analyzing, synthesizing, and creating, and allowing students to do that. Not easy all the time, and it takes a little bit of time to get there. And that's what our work is going to be all about this year. Mm-hmm. Not only this year, for the next few years to get where we need to be. So that leads me to my question. What can students look forward to as we continue to migrate down this road?
Students can look forward to, we have lots of technology here at Bay Path, but we're going to continue to expand on that. Have smart TVs that are interactive where they can go up and present and touch and do and demonstrate for the class. We're going to have, different types of lessons as we're working with all of the tools. We have so many resources now that weren't even available 5 years ago. So instructors are going to be leveraging those to maximize their time on learning and allow students to work with mediums that they're actually pretty comfortable with already. And they can show us a thing or two. So they'll be reading more. Yeah.
No, I love that you say that. And just closing this out right here, what can teachers look forward to from us here? So I like to look at us as an administrative team as a bunch of coaches. And as a job of coaching, our job is to listen, to meet teachers where they're at, and then provide building capacity opportunities for them. And again, in this type of vocation, it's not always easy. So it's okay to step out of your comfort zone. But what can our teachers expect from us?
Our teachers can expect that we're going to support them in their journey to lean more towards becoming a facilitator. And just as the students will struggle productively in the classroom when they're really, truly learning, sometimes the instructors are going to struggle productively, but we're going to be there to support them, to catch them, to work alongside them. We all want to work together as a team, as partners, and be the best version of ourselves, better than we were yesterday. And we know it can be done, and we know we have the talent here. So we're just going to be their cheerleaders too.
I love it. Right there, it says it all. Dr. McGuane, thank you so much for joining me today. Now the Bay Path community gets to put a name to a face, or face to a name. I'll say that correctly. Strike that, turn that around. But at the end of the day, I'm super excited to work with you. I love your knowledge. I love your passion. And I love the way that you connect with people in order to help them move forward and grow. Just so cool to watch. That's all we have for today, guys. Have a great afternoon, everybody. And more importantly, don't stop learning. Have a great day. See you later from the hip.